Hi guys and welcome to Desi Dutch. This is your host Amjay with a very special guest tonight. This is my sister from Dubai. Mashaal is with us today, and just before we start, I want to announce which day it is. I don't remember. I think it's been 3 days or something, but this is day 20 or 21 of the quarantine. So officially, 3 weeks have been passed since I've been in quarantine, and I'm not really liking it, to be honest. Like in the sense that it's fun, but you know that sometimes you just miss people, and that's why I called up my sister today. So I thought maybe she'll tell us how Dubai is doing, how she's doing. She recently, not recently, how long? I think it's been 2 years since she's been married, so still a relatively young couple, and then they both are stuck at home. So how are they managing that, and all of that interesting news, interesting stuff for you today. So Mashal, welcome to Desi Dutch.
Hey, Ahad, what's up? I want to
I'm
call you Mintu.
Yeah,
So
it's
that's his
okay.
nickname.
That's fine.
But yeah, and
Yeah.
it's not been almost 2 years. So it's just been like not even 1.5 years since I got married.
Yeah,
So yeah,
2018, right? 2018,
yeah,
September 20.
20 September 2018.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one and
So
a half years.
thanks for having me in your show. So life is good. I mean, getting the hang of work from home. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Like obviously, every time on the show, I do cry about the fact that I'm working from home. But you know the reality.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice that my work from home. I can't complain. Um, uh, I play a lot of Rocket League with my friends. I play a lot of FIFA with my friends, and cooking a lot. You saw the parathas I've been making,
Yeah.
and today it's such a special day for me because I've been gardening for the past 2 weeks.
Really?
Right? Yeah,
Where?
yeah. I have in-house pots. So
Oh,
I'm
that's so cool.
Yeah, I grew mint, basil, coriander, and today my tomato plant showed some sprouts. So I'm really excited about that. I don't know how a tomato plant is gonna look like when it grows.
Wow.
Yeah, so like this is the
I'm
kind
so
of
wow, I'm
Uh,
surprised into growing your own coriander and tomatoes. It's
yeah,
wow.
because you cook, so it's nice to have some good fresh things. So mint,
That's
right? Take
crazy.
pudine ke parathe and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a
No,
lot of
I'm actually impressed. I mean, I never expected you to do that, but I also have this little plant at home, like little tiny plant I got from my company for
It's probably an
international
aloe
women's day.
vera. It's
No,
probably aloe vera cactus.
no,
Huh?
not a cactus. I mean, I don't know the name of plants because I'm not really like,
Yeah. No, but does it
gardening sort
look
of
like aloe
person.
vera cactus or it's like a flower?
Yeah, it looks like aloe vera sort of, but it's
Yeah.
really tiny, and
Yeah, I get it.
but it has pink leaves. It's weird. So I
Oh,
water it like every 2 days, and I've kept it near my window so it gets the right sunlight. But yeah, now I'm starting to get interested in having more pots at
yeah.
my place. But yeah, so it's been 3 weeks since I've been working from home. So
Yeah.
I'm a sort of person, you know me. I was a very social person back in Pakistan. Ever since I got married, I moved to UAE, and I live in Sharjah, and my work is in Dubai.
Yeah.
So the travel time takes like around 2 hours in the morning, then 2 hours in the evening. So now I don't miss that at all. So when I'm working from home, I get to sleep till late, like
More.
around 8 p.m. And then I don't have to like go through that mental torture of 2 hours of travel time before I reach home in the evening.
Yeah.
Now I can cook at my own time. It's so weird. At lunchtime, I'm able to cook biryani. Can you imagine in
Exactly.
1 hour? It's crazy. I
For
mean,
the
oh, I'm craving biryani today. Let's make biryani for lunch. I mean,
Because we
I
have a
never
lot of
had that
time.
luck. Yeah. So now
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. And Imad, basically, Imad is my husband, if no one knows.
Mm.
For the audience, I know you know that. But so he was working from home since past 2 weeks, but this week he went to the office twice. So when before the quarantine, before coronavirus hit all of us, me and Imad, we used to see each other just for a couple of hours every day. So in the morning, I used to wake up at 6:30 or 6 mostly, and he would wake up at 8:30 or 9, and we would never see each other in the morning. Then in the afternoon, he would reach home at 6:30, and I would reach home at 8. So we would just and I would sleep at 11:30. So we would just have like 3 hours together, and
Yeah.
in that duration, we would go out for 1 hour of workout, like running outside. So, and that time also we don't talk, right? Because we are wearing our headphones for workout. So we just literally spend 2 hours, used to spend 2 hours every day. But now in during quarantine, it's like 24/7 together. It was, I thought like, shit, man, it won't work out. I mean, we would keep on like, eat on each other's throats, but then it's going pretty well. I'm actually enjoying his companionship. He's also liking it, and we don't really sit together when we're doing our when we're working. So I have my laptop, he has his laptop. So whenever he has a meeting, he comes outside and sits on my like this area, and I go inside. When I have a meeting, I come outside. So usually this spot is for me, while for Emma, the bed is his spot for work. So, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm a very organized sort of a person. So I like to like, sit on a table and, like have my coffee mug here. But for him, he could like wear his blanket and still do the work.
Yeah.
So, but by profession, I'm a salesperson. I am a part of a startup, technology startup. So I keep on talking to a lot of clients. I was used to meeting clients a lot, like
Yeah.
thrice or four times in a day. And now it's not even like there are no in-person meetings, only online. So it's a bit weird because the change in the dynamics in terms of how you speak to a person, and
Yeah.
sometimes there's no video as well, it's just audio. So imagine the change in the way I'm like dealing with my work. But yeah, so this is how I'm coping up with
Balancing.
the
Yeah, but
yeah.
this is all good and well. The routine is happening. It's nice that you are finding time to spend time with your husband, because why not, right? He is your husband after all.
Yeah.
So, but what about the mental aspect of it? That's pretty important, right?
So I feel I'm more relieved, and I feel I'm less stressed out when I'm at home. I felt that no, this will affect me because I'm a salesperson. I need to meet people. I might not be hitting my target if I don't speak to people in person, but that's not the case because our company was more sort of a company who would always encourage online meetings. But for me, when I started work from home, I enjoy the peace. I enjoy the quietness. I don't I can work on my own pace, and I don't find Imad annoying at all because although he's there all the time, but he doesn't disturb me during lunchtime. Like sometimes he cooks and gives me the food. Sometimes I do it. So it's like partnership together. And I have a proper routine that I wake up at 8 and I eat my breakfast like oats with coconut milk
Yeah.
and some berries and bananas. So yeah, I mean, we go out for running as well now, but because of the lockdown, by the way, we started doing the stairs inside the building because we don't want to miss out on the workout, because I get really frustrated. And one part of me feeling at peace and stress free is because I have a proper workout routine. If any day I don't go out for running or the stairs, I feel miserable. So
Yeah.
yeah, by the way, our office, like, they have also created this Zoom workout group at 6:30 in the morning. There's a meditation group at 6 in the morning. There's a after work book club, but I haven't joined any of those.
No, me neither. Me neither. My office also has a lot of stuff they said you can do,
uh,
but I said, you know what? No, I think the working aspect of it is nice. We created a game group, so at lunchtime we all play Rocket League together. A lot of us, so that's a lot of
wow.
fun. I get some social interaction there, and
Yeah,
we work in a Scrum team, right? So our immediate team of software has to see each other's faces every day in the morning. So
yeah,
every day at 10 a.m. we have to open up Google Meets and just talk to each other for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and get to know how the day is going to go. So I'm not really missing them in that sense. So I try to
yeah,
stay away from all the additional and optional meetups that I get a chance to be in. But yeah, moving on. So this is all fine and well, but it doesn't look like you're in a quarantine, because that isolation part of social isolation is not really affecting you. You have Imad there with you, so I feel
yeah,
like you are content, because I live alone, so there's a big difference,
yeah,
I think. Yeah,
yeah,
and I feel like you get that dose of companionship. So, but
yeah.
other than that, when you go outside for essentials, or your running has been stopped, so you do the stairs, how much of that impact are you seeing because of the coronavirus? Do you see outside how people are reacting in Dubai and Sharjah, and how they're doing?
So, firstly, there is a proper 24-hour lockdown in Dubai, and that is not the case for Sharjah. In Sharjah, it's 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. every day. But for Dubai, it's complete lockdown for 2 weeks. So you can't even
Oh
go out
wow.
for groceries
Yeah.
unless you have a proper permit that
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have to go to the government site and to get the permit. Which is
Right.
so. Thank God I'm living in Sharjah at the moment. That is the only time I feel grateful for being in this Emirat,
Yeah.
because I can go for groceries. I went out today in the afternoon to get cucumbers from the nearby supermarket. So it was a good walk. So, yeah, I'm not facing that complete lockdown. I haven't really faced that, but I feel if I do, um, it'll be crazy, because I don't know. I mean, not being able to see the sun or not being able to go out just for even a 2-minute walk is going to be, it's crazy. I can't even imagine. But
Yeah.
ever since I moved to Dubai, I've been a bit of what do we say, introvert. I was an extrovert back in Pakistan, but here, ever since I moved to UAE, I don't really meet friends. It's just work, home,
Yeah.
So when this quarantine thing happened, it did not affect me that much. I mean, I'm shocked and surprised myself, but I don't miss going outside, because I remember in Pakistan, I used to go out to meet friends almost twice a week, after
Yeah.
my work at 6, and then weddings at night.
Hmm.
Here, there are no weddings. You don't even meet friends. I don't even go out for lunches with friends even before the quarantine. I felt like, wow, I mean, I've turned into a complete introverted person. But obviously, then I felt that this is too much. So I started like forcing myself to like meet at least once a month, my
Yeah.
Pakistani friends here. But with regards to the Dubai, the lockdown, my colleagues and my friends, they feel that it's obviously affecting them because they are party people. They go out for drinks and clubs, so they feel really
Yeah.
alone, especially those who are living alone, like
Yeah.
whose families are back in their home country. So, and one thing I noticed with myself is that I stopped doing all these stay in touch part with friends since the past 2 months, but now again I've started like calling them, messaging them, because I remember there was a part where I wouldn't even reply for days. It was so bad, and
You're one of
now
those
I
people. Yes. You're one of those people. People who reading people don't like those kind of people, but that just they don't reply. You go like, oh, I forgot to reply. I'm so sorry. I was just no, you weren't. You
it's
weren't. Be honest. You weren't, right? You don't forget, do you?
yeah,
Right? You don't. You see and you ignore. You see and you ignore.
yeah, that's true, but this is the now me. I mean, I remember back in Pakistan, I would reply like every second. I would reply to the person. There was not a time, that single time I would not like reply to a person. But now I would keep it unseen for days, and it wouldn't really bother me, So, which I know. I mean, it's all about priorities and urgency, right? So,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
So
I do
be.
reply. I do reply to people. Like, for example, I have Didi's message voice note since 2 days, and I haven't responded to her, but I know I will eventually. The same is happening with Zainab. I sent her a voice note after a week, and now I'm waiting for her to send me the voice note. It's been 2 days already. So I know, like, obviously she's taking her time too. So I mean, I expect people to take their time, and I expect them to understand that I want my time too. Good,
And
sweet time. Yeah.
yeah, I'm
But,
not like this. I was never like this. You know me. I always
yeah.
reply in time, and for me,
Um,
the messaging is always there, and it's. I understand. Like, of
yeah.
course, you don't have time to reply to everybody, and as long as you're honest about it, so that's fine. But
Yeah.
my question to you is all about, so we're seeing Dubai is in complete state of lockdown, half of Europe is in a complete state of lockdown. Quarantine is not really affecting you that much. You've
Yeah.
become a very introverted person. That's a good sign for some, that's a bad sign for some. But
Yeah.
how is it affecting like the mood in the household? So like we can see that you're pretty content, but how is Emma doing, and then how you guys are coping with
Yeah.
all that extra attention that you have to give to each other, and that extra amount of time you see each other, because you used to
Yeah.
see each other for 3 hours only. So yeah, you're
Yeah.
liking it, but were you liking it from the start, or now you're starting to like it, or maybe now is the time you will not start to like it anymore? Well, what's going to happen, because it's been 3 weeks?
So, I mean, pre-quarantine time, I remember if I would not go out in one weekend, although I would be going to office every day, but if I don't go out at one weekend and I go out in next, I would feel, oh shit. I mean, I need to get out of the house. But now, ever since, I mean, I haven't gone out, and it's been 3 weeks, so I still didn't feel that I need to go out. I mean, I feel okay and relaxed. And in terms of Imad's moods, Imad is also like pretty like chill and stress free. Yes, we were stressed out about our jobs and what
Yeah,
will
yeah,
happen. This situation is uncertain because we both have to like manage the house and uh, I mean my pay cut has also been 30% less.
yeah,
So, but still, I'm taking it positively because I'm being grateful for small things in life. Like I at least have a job, right? So, I've started praying again, which is really odd, but I started praying again, and it's helping me stay sane.
yeah.
And I am talking to my family on the phone, and it feels good, like, I mean, it's psychological. You know why? Because when you know that the whole world is not doing anything, you don't feel FOMO. You don't feel that you're missing out on
Oh,
anything.
really? Yeah,
Yeah.
nice way to put it, actually. Yeah, if you think
Yeah.
about
And
it.
it's actually, this is what I was thinking because, like before quarantine, when I wouldn't go out on one weekend, I would feel, oh shit, I did not go out. I must be missing on something. I hate it. I hate my life. But now it's been 3 or 4 weeks, almost 5 weeks, I think, and I don't feel left out at all. I feel, oh, okay, yeah, I did not go out. So what? The whole world is at a stop now. So
Interesting.
let's
Yeah,
enjoy this moment.
that's a nice way to
So
look
yeah,
at it. Yeah, because not many people are doing anything. The most you see is on their social media, them trying to show that they're enjoying their quarantine life. A lot of TikTok stuff has really been popping up. But yeah, I think the family thing is really important, right? So one thing is that I will complain that you never come on Duo that much. So I don't know which family you're talking to because you don't talk to me. All right. So
no,
one.
I don't know. You guys have this do thing every Friday because nobody invites me there.
No, you're in the group. If you call in the group, it
No,
comes
I
your.
never get the call. I
Uh,
never get the call. That's why I'm confused. Like I had this call with you guys for 1 week, and the next week you never called. So it's a
No,
bit weird.
we don't call on a week. Mom calls me every day. Khair. But yeah, that's now the next question, right? You both have family in Pakistan, and you know how Pakistan is doing. They're not doing
Yeah.
that well. They don't have the infrastructure to handle it. Our parents are getting really, really old. So, sitting on your own, thinking about this, you guys are young. You might be able to handle it. But what are you worried about in the sense that how how do you think your families are handling it, and are you guys okay with the way that they're handling it?
So personally speaking, me and Imad, we both were actually quite worried about Pakistan. We weren't really worried about UAE because we know that the government is competent. They have the resources. The people here are more, the younger slot and more educated people, the expats. So they know that they would obviously follow the instructions and stay at home. But in Pakistan, uh, it's a very different dynamics because firstly the government doesn't have the resources, the population is like really too much. I mean, um, it's really too much. There are a lot of people living under the poverty line. A lot of businesses don't have the resources to work from home, so we were really really stressed out about that. And Imad used to like check the stats every day. Oh shit, now it's obviously 3,000 deaths in Italy, 4,000 deaths, etc., etc. So I mean that was I asked him not to share the stats with me anymore because it was really freaking me out. But slowly, I started to like, talk to myself that, it's going to be okay. And I'm doing my part by telling my family to stay at home and not really mingle with people and try not to call in the maid. For example, me, I haven't called the maid since last week. Me and Imad, we both together cleaned the house. I mean, I can't even expect Imad to do that, but he was really supportive and he did that. He did his part because he understands that, now it's the time to step up as a
Yeah.
partner. So I wanted to, I mean, I remember even mom told us that our boss and all our siblings did
Yeah, I saw
the
that.
cleaning. So this is teamwork, it should be that way. I mean, you shouldn't call the maid because, it's tricky and it's not good for our family. So I keep on telling mom about this. I'm worried about dad because he's
Yeah,
alone there. I mean, I'm not worried about the Saudi government, but I'm worried about dad himself because he's alone there.
yeah, I
So
get that.
these are the bits I worry about, but then I try to like, engage myself in different activities like watching Friends or like not talking about Corona itself. So that is what makes me, I
Yeah,
mean, basically, in other words, I'm taking one day at a time, and just hoping for the best.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's gonna be a number of days, right? It's been already
Yeah.
been 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Yeah.
I think there are months to go, but I agree with
Yeah.
you completely. I think the only panic most Desis living abroad have is that they have family back home, and we both have the same family, and we know how
Yeah.
ziddy our family can be sometimes, right? Mom still calls the maid once a week or twice a week, so
Yeah, that's so wrong.
so like it is difficult to understand that, but as long as you're handling it well, because that's very important. I always believe that you can control what you can control, and what you can't control is something that you should not be worried about, right? Have a
Yeah.
stoic outlook on life. If it's not under my control, I'm not really going to worry about it, because I can't control how mom does her shit, right? So
Yeah.
there's not really point of that. But yeah, so Dubai is doing well. You're doing really, really well, and I feel
Say
like you're
mashallah.
doing, yeah, mashallah, you're doing better than me, it seems like sometimes. So, what are your suggestions for people who maybe married couple like you who want to rip each other's throats, or maybe you have families or people who are alone living in an environment which is not Pakistani or Desi, and they're missing their culture. So, what is your advice for them? Because you're handling it really, really well. So, what do you think they should be learning from this?
So, firstly, I would like to tell you that from my experience, when we started this work from home setup, I did a few courses on LinkedIn to see how work from home really should be effective, like what resources you should have in place so that it's your day goes well. So, there were a few pointers I took note of. The first is that you should know. What works for you. For example, me and Imad, we are like poles apart. So I need to have an organized space for
Yeah,
myself. Like I need to have a proper breakfast. I need to wake up beforehand, like 30 minutes before my first meeting so that I mentally prepare myself. I need to have all my stuff in place. I need to be dressed up. I can't just, wear PJs and start my work. Although nobody would notice, but I still wouldn't accept this myself, and it will affect my work eventually. But Imad can like work with his PJs, and he can do all the work properly. I mean, he does really well,
yeah,
but this is his own style, and my style is different. So I would
yeah,
say find your style.
yeah,
I would not ask someone who's okay with working in his PJs to change and always be ready in the morning, because I mean, if he's comfortable and if he's successful, then why should I ask him to change his style? So firstly is to see what your style is. I mean, for me, it's to stay organized, and that helps me. Stress management in terms of cleaning, in terms of cooking also helps me, right? And like working out is very important. I feel working right now, I had a muscle sprain in my foot, so I can't really run, but I took a day off, and another day after 2 days, but it's not really getting better. But I
yeah,
can't take a week off because I know it will really affect me. So
yeah,
I did the stairs slowly, so. And sometimes working, cleaning the house is also work, or some sort of a workout, so that also helps me. Watering my plant also is a stress reliever. I don't know how though, but really helps you, and I
oh, it
it makes me
does.
happy.
It does. It
Yeah.
does. I can vouch for that.
Yeah, and plus, all these little things are selfish. I mean, in Joey's words, it is making you feel good about
Yeah.
doing something good for others. So nothing is selfless. So I think this, like doing such small things, adds life to your years, you can say, or the feeling of contentment is there. So, for
Yeah.
example, watering my plant is making me feel good, or like uh, like right now, yesterday only, I sent mom money, as she might need it for her own little pocket money and stuff.
Yeah.
So it made me feel good because I'm doing something, to help someone, especially family.
Yeah.
So yeah, so these are the bits that I would suggest the audience to
Yeah.
look at, and plus do courses, learn a new thing. And I was also reading something, by the way, I don't know if you agree or not, but it said that there was a quote that if you are not doing something productive while sitting at home, then you are a failure. But there was a counter argument on that quote, that right now this is a crisis situation and we are not working from home by choice. So if you're not doing anything, it's completely fine. You
Yeah.
know. So what do you think? Like, I want to hear your thoughts, because for me, I feel I'm on. I mean, it should be both, some of both. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
yes, you should
Definitely.
it's a crisis situation. So yes, there shouldn't be pressure on you doing something, but yes, don't waste it. Like at least take out time and for your own sanity, learn something new or make it productive.
Yeah. I think that's the problem with social media, right? So what you're talking about is exactly the first this post came out, which everybody was sharing, that if in this quarantine you don't come out of this quarantine with a new skill set, a side business or something, then it wasn't time that you lacked, but discipline. Right. And
Yeah,
someone goes like, no, this means that you're coping with a crisis that has affected all of us. And that was a counter argument that came up. And I'm just like, you know
yeah,
what? That's the problem with social media. Because if you have time to do wellness policies on social media, talk about, no, you're going through a crisis, then you have time, right? You have
yeah,
time. I completely I on the side of the argument of time. But if you are directly involved in this crisis situation, if you're a frontline doctor, if you're a relative of a frontline doctor, if you are a patient or you're a relative of a patient, of course, learning a new skill, starting a new business is not should not be on top of your list. Surviving should be on top of your list. But more than 99% of people in the world are not being affected by this that directly, right?
yeah,
So you have time. I in my social media circle, I see people sharing TikToks, I see people sharing bingos, I see people sharing throwbacks. If you have time to go through your social media feed to do all of
yeah.
that, you have time to do something productive as well. Yes,
That's true.
we're coping, and it's all fine, but no, it's not really a war type coping that we're doing. We're sitting at
Yeah,
home. People are asking
yeah,
us to sit at home, sit on your butts, and that's all you have to do. So it's not
yeah,
like, oh, it's taking a mental toll on us. Okay, what's going to happen to us? No, that. So I completely disagree with that. So I'm on your side. I think you should learn something up. That's why I picked up gardening. That's why I tried
yeah,
to make parathas, and my parathas were pretty goal as well, if you saw,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So I'm doing this stuff. Yesterday I made burgers with fries because I just was like, I saw you making burgers. I saw our boss
yeah.
making burgers. I was like,
Imad made burgers actually.
yeah. So I was like, you know
Yeah.
what? I'm
Did
gonna
you
make.
make burgers on scratch?
No, 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 no. So I did everything else properly,
Oh,
but the burgers I just bought frozen because I
yeah,
was just eating alone. If I would be eating with someone, that would do the effort.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but
That's
I did everything else properly. Got the fries, got the mix ready, the relish, the onion relish I made for 20 minutes. So everything I was really from scratch. But the burger itself was just frozen. Mecca Foods is a company here that makes frozen burgers. So,
nice, nice.
I think you're perfectly right with that. So you must be watching TV. You said you're watching Friends. You must be
Yeah.
listening to kind of stuff. So any suggestions you have for our listeners, if you think a new show besides Money Heist, Peaky Blinders, and Narcos? Do you have any other suggestions?
uh, so sorry to say this, but I'm not following Money Heist. I mean,
Oh,
I don't know if the world will accept me for this, but I'm not watching Money Heist at all. I mean, the first time I watched Money Heist was in Pakistan when you were watching it.
oh
Remember?
yes, and that
So
was
that was only
amazing.
the one episode I watched when you were watching it on the TV. Otherwise, after that, I have no idea. I remember even Imad started it, but he also did not follow through. But right now, the reason I'm watching Friends is it's because it's light, and I feel light when I'm watching Friends. I don't really have to think about anything, so I'm not really watching. Yeah, if there's any Indian movie that comes out like Bollywood, I definitely watch it. Like Maska was one of the recent movies on Netflix.
Yes.
It was okay, it was decent, it wasn't really good, but I liked it. It was fine, a good time pass, you know.
Yeah.
So I watched this platform movie as well, so I don't really have a suggestion in terms of
Yeah.
watching anything for your audience, but I would suggest to find their own style. If they like horror movies, creepy movies, then they should watch Platform, which is a Spanish movie. It talks
Yeah.
about income gaps, and it has like portrayed the story in such a way that you really, it's out of the world. It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's quite creative. Have you watched it?
No, not yet. Not yet.
You should. It's quite amazing. I mean,
Yeah, definitely.
Spanish people are really good, like in terms of
Oh, I'm actually, I noticed this yesterday that
uh,
we're forgetting, but instead now there's a American cinema is there, but Spanish speaking cinema is really on the rise. You have
yeah,
so many good shows coming out, and
true.
shows, not movies. For some reason,
Yeah,
shows are really
shows too.
there.
Yeah,
You have Money Heist, you have a Narcos series, you have there was a show called Elite. I saw. So they're just churning out shows and shows and shows. So it's really
yeah,
nice to see.
yeah,
But yep, I think. It was wonderful talking to you, Mashal. I think this is one of
Same.
the longest catch-ups we've ever done.
Yeah.
And please
Ever.
open the Duo app, open the notifications, and see when we're calling you, because JB family calls you every day or
I
every other
swear
day.
I never received the notification, but next time I'll keep in mind on Friday I have to check in whether
No,
you
not
guys are
Friday. It
online.
can be any day. It's not particularly Friday, but we'll
Really?
just. Yeah, mom calls me every
Yeah.
day, so it doesn't really
Oh,
matter. She walks at 8 p.m. Pakistani time. She calls me and dad every day, and we see her walking around in the
yeah.
downstairs area. So yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, thank you for your time. And for those who are like readers as much as they're listeners, Mashal also is part of a blogging team called Three Sleepy Gals. So
Yeah.
www.threesleepygals.com, right?
Yeah,
It,
so the website is not working, but you can definitely check my Instagram by the name of Sleepy Gals.
yeah,
It's pink, so you will know definitely.
yeah.
It's
So
pretty
it's
obvious.
it's a story about
Yeah,
these
so
three girls. These three girls who were friends, and they just talk about their
best
own
friend.
stories. Best friends talking
Yeah,
about their stories. So I think
yeah.
you guys follow that, and you're gonna be in more. You'll be better updated than you are with my Instagram page, because I only post when a new episode is out. Well, she still posts some. There's still some things going on in her Instagram
Yeah,
handle. So yeah, that's good to hear.
yeah,
And so, Mashallah, I'll talk to you on the JB family after a while.
yeah. And do invite the Sleepy Gals on your show someday.
Oh, the whole gang.
Yeah,
Definitely, definitely. That would also
yeah,
be a nice show. So
yeah.
thank you so much. And
Thanks, Mintu. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
yes,
See you soon. Take care and stay safe. Wash
yeah,
your
yeah.
hands.
Wash my hands. Yes,
Bye.
thank you so much. And thank you all for listening. I hope you had a blast listening to two siblings talk to each other like we haven't talked to each other in years. And hopefully it was as fun as much as fun for you as it was for us. And I'll talk to you tomorrow for day 21 or 22. Hopefully. Thank you so much. Bye bye.